Today, Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor of the UK, the guy in charge of our economy, admitted that he could pull people out of poverty. He could help people through this cost of living crisis, but is choosing not to.
Because being in the single market is not the same as being in the EU. And would membership of the single market be something that would boost growth and change our current economic outlook?
I think having unfettered trade with our neighbours and countries all over the world is very beneficial to growth.
That's a yes.
I don't think it's the right way to boost growth because it would be against what people were voting for when they supported Brexit.
The government's own experts, the Office for Budgetary Responsibility, says the people of the UK are facing a 7% drop in household income over the next 2 years. And you just heard our Chancellor say that rejoining the EU single market would make things better, but he is choosing not to. And his excuse for not helping people is wrong too, because a poll was done immediately after the referendum in 2016, which showed the majority of people wanted to stay in the EU single market after Brexit in order to protect the economy. And that included 37% of Leave voters. Not to mention in both of the elections that followed, 2017 and 2019, the majority voted for parties that were promising to keep all the benefits of the single market. So even if you want to argue that 52% voting for Brexit 7 years ago is more important than 56% thinking it's a bad idea now, the British people have never voted to leave the single market, and that's precisely what's causing the damage we're seeing. The decision to leave the single market was made by the Tories and the Tories alone, and the painful thing about this is watching Jeremy Hunt today felt like Groundhog Day. Because here's a clip of Theresa May when she was Prime Minister in 2016.
Well, a good Brexit deal is one where we have a good trading relationship with the European Union, with access to the single market, not a member of the single market.
Now remember, the thing that's causing the economic damage right now is the fact that the UK and the EU are no longer in the same legal system, so stuff has to be checked when it crosses the border. The single market is the idea that countries in the EU, as well as several others like Norway, share rules so you don't have the expensive red tape at the border. So when Theresa May said she was going to get access to the EU single market, it was bullshit. Because the only way to get access to the EU single market as a legal system is to follow the EU's rules, which is why she tried to sell it as a common rule book and Brexiteers hated it. And here's Jeremy Hunt today saying the same thing over 6 years later.
I have great confidence that over the years ahead we will find outside the single market we are able to remove the vast majority of the trade barriers that exist between us and the EU. It'll take time.
It's frankly pathetic. Just like Theresa May, Jeremy Hunt campaigned for Remain because he knew that Brexit would make us poor, and so here he is over half a decade later telling the same bullshit. And while the Tories are playing games, the people of the UK are struggling to pay their bills and suffering the worst fall in living standards since records began. And you just heard them say that they have the power to make things better for people, but instead they're pulling a Chris Tarrant.
But we don't want to give you that.